Molly, you are cool as shit.
So welcome to Moll's Deep Podcast. I still don't have anything set up, so I'm just going to film it in my car. I see people online filming in their cars. It's like, I could do that. Anyway, so since Charlie Kirk's death, rest in peace, and I basically been finding out how many of the people I know are total sociopaths. They're just cheering on the death of someone they don't agree with. And one of their big arguments that they're doing is like, oh, well, he said that some gun deaths are okay or whatever. That's not what he said. What he said, I don't know the exact quote. I'll pull it up.
The Second Amendment is there, God forbid, so that you can defend yourself against a tyrannical government. And if that talk scares you, wow, that's radical, Charlie. I don't know about that. Well, then you have not really read any of the literature of our founding fathers. Yep. Number two, you've not read any 20th century history. You're just living in Narnia. You just don't want to face reality that governments tend to get tyrannical and that if people need an ability to protect themselves and their communities and their families. Now, we must also be real. We must be honest with the population. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price. Wow. And that is part of liberty. Wow. Driving comes with a price. 50,000 people die on the road every year. Wow. That's a price. You get rid of driving, you'd have 50,000 less auto fatalities. But we have decided that the benefit of driving, speed, accessibility, mobility, having products, services, is worth the cost of 50,000 people dying on the road. Wow. So we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, yes, by having more armed guards in front of schools. Yes. We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. Wow. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe.
Basically, worth it to have our rights, to have our gun rights, to defend ourselves, to defend our homes, to defend all of our other rights, to like it's our right to own guns. And yes, there are gun deaths, but more gun laws aren't going to fix that. The states that have the most gun laws have the most gun violence. So that's number one. And number two, you act like people don't care about school shootings or they don't care about gun death just because, like, oh, they don't want to do anything about that. No, they don't want to do what you want them to do about that. And you don't want to do the stuff they want to do about it. So why is it that they're the ones that don't care?
So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at baseball games? Because we have armed guards outside of baseball games. That's why. How did we stop all the shootings at airports? We have armed guards outside of airports. How do we stop all the shootings at banks? We have armed guards outside of banks. How do we stop all the shootings at gun shows? Notice there's not a lot of mass shootings at gun shows. There's all these guns because everyone's armed. If our money and our sporting events and our airplanes have armed guards, why don't our children?
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You just want to keep allowing schools to be defenseless and unarmed so that they'll continue to be targeted by people who want to hurt a large group of people but not risk getting shot. So that's what y'all want to keep doing. But you're going to keep telling people who believe in their gun rights that they're the ones that don't care about lives. If you care so much about gun death, why is it that in DC, where they were having so much gun violence. There were more gun deaths from gun violence pretty much any given weekend in DC than there's been in the last few mass shootings. Okay. And probably in one day, there's more gun deaths in DC than there was. Oh my God. There wasn't a shooting in Minnesota. But yet when Trump is like, hey, this is out of control. There's more crime here. There's more violent crime here than some third world countries. Like, this is not supposed to happen in the capital of the United States. And when he stepped in to bring the National Guard to put a stop to it and actually save lives, which he did, all the crime just went down to like record lows almost immediately. Then liberals who are so anti-gun and so violence and so they just care so much about human life. Suddenly he's just being a fascist. He's just there to target black people. Never mind the fact that he saved more black lives by doing that than any liberal Democrat leader or talking head. But yet, so you're saying that there's a necessary amount of people that need to die every day in DC just for Trump to not be right about something, just for Trump to not go in and actually like use what it is that we have to like force situations like that, which is our National Guard to protect our citizens. He's turning National Guard against Americans. No, he's turning the National Guards against people who intend harm to Americans. Now, I'm not saying we should just have the National Guard like going out doing this all the time, but we're talking about where people were terrified. People couldn't even live their lives. There are videos upon videos upon videos of people from DC online thanking Trump.
They're able to do that, then I think there's no problem with that, because there are pockets in DC that are significantly out of control.
We need all the protection that we can get in the city, because the city is really getting dangerous. A person like me at this age, I have to make sure to come home before sundown.
That's sad. You live in the nation's capital and I got to get home before the sun sets because it goes down after that. And it's bad when Joe Scarborough is like, hey.
The people that are cheering this on privately are not like right-wing Republicans, are not MAGA people. A lot of our friends are in the media, and also Democrats that worked on Joe Biden's campaign, that worked on other campaigns, that are saying, yeah, I'd like to feel safe walking around this city.
There's people in other cities begging him to come there. But no. You don't want anybody, you don't want to turn anybody against the criminals who are killing people. Oh, he said that some gun deaths are worth it. Okay, well, you feel the same way about illegal immigration crime. When people bring up, hey, women are being raped and murdered, well, how many of their lives, how many of their deaths are worth it for you to just, oh, it's okay, well, we gotta let all the illegal immigrants in or you're a racist. Okay, well then, what you're saying is a certain amount of rapes and murders, a certain amount of drug trafficking, a certain amount of human trafficking, a certain amount of that, a certain amount of gang violence, a certain amount of all of that is worth it. It's worth it to you, right? But you care so much about lives, but it's worth it though. And then you say, that's a small number. So it's worth it to you. A woman, I'm sure more than one, but a woman was raped in a prison by a biological male who identifies as a trans woman. And they put him in a women's prison. A fully intact biological male. Because he said he was a woman. And guess what? Someone got raped. And when she took him to trial, they forced her to use his preferred pronouns.
Thank you, Kevin. A controversial court ruling tonight. A convicted criminal who served time at the women's prison in Chowchilla is charged with raping fellow inmates. A Madera County judge says Tremaine Carroll must be referred to with she, her pronouns. But the district attorney is pushing back because the 52-year-old Carroll is a biological male, and the decision could impact the pursuit of justice. Court records show Carroll was convicted in Los Angeles County in 1993 for aggravated kidnapping for the purpose of ransom or to commit another crime.
She had to call her rapist she and her. But you're okay with that. You're okay. You think a certain amount of rape is worth it. So y'all are okay with like gun deaths, rape, murder, human trafficking, because it's worth it. It's just a little bit of it is worth it. But yet you're going to look at somebody like Charlie Kirk who says some gun deaths are worth it for us to have our rights to be able to protect ourselves. He's a bad guy. And then you're so anti-gun, you're so anti-violence, you're so that some of y'all are dancing and singing and celebrating because they shot him with a gun. Violence. Let me tell you something. The most anti-gun people are the people who've never actually needed a gun. The most anti-gun people, it's a privilege. You're privileged. It's a privilege to be anti-gun. I've been homeless. I've lived in my car before. Not now, but I lived in my car before. I've lived in the ghetto. And I had to own a gun. I had to own a gun. Because my neighbor upstairs would beat his woman. He would throw her down the stairs. I thought he had thrown a trunk or suitcases down the stairs once. It was her body. Outdoor stairs, made of concrete. Yeah, I had a gun. I had a gun in my house. There was gang violence on my street. I had a gun in my house. Just me, single mom, and my child. I lived in places. You need a gun. I had someone break into my house one time. I had our glass alarm go off. We had our glass alarm go off. And it's just me, single mom, my child. I grab my gun, grab my son. We go. There's no getting out. Where this glass alarm went off is right between the exits. We couldn't have just gotten out without running past whoever it was. I get my gun. I get my son. We go to the bathroom. We're in the shower. Lock the door. Call 911. This was in California. And I told the dispatcher, I was like, this was going on. I was being really calm. Didn't want to scare my son, who was scared, but I didn't want to scare him more. And she told me like, "Oh, calm down." And I said, "No, I'm calm. I have a gun. I'm in the bathroom. There's only one way into this room. So I'm not letting anyone in this room. So it'll be okay." And she goes, "You have a gun?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, you shouldn't have that." I said, "Ma'am, this is exactly when I should have this. This is the perfect time to have something like this." Imagine being in that situation as a mother, trying to protect yourself, trying to protect your child. I didn't even own things that are worth stealing. So in my mind, they're probably here to murder me and God knows what else. So I'm sitting here like, scared. I'm scared. I'm like trying to keep him calm. He's here. And I'm sitting here like, how are you going to tell a single mom with a 5-year-old in a bathroom with someone breaking into their home they shouldn't have a gun? Privilege. privilege. How let them eat cake could you be? Sitting in the comfort of another building where you don't have someone breaking in, when you're not scared, when you're not in that situation, and tell somebody, oh, you should have a gun. So yes, I believe in my gun rights. 100%. 100%. And do some people die from gun violence? Yes. But gun rights are more important. I'm sorry. They are. Because guess what? If you, the thing is, gun control isn't even the answer. We have gun control. We have some really good gun laws. There's background checks, waiting period. There's some really good gun laws that I agree with that we have. And the places that have the strictest gun laws have the most gun violence. So if they have the most gun violence in the places that have the strictest gun laws, well, wait a minute then. So you're telling me that more gun laws is going to help? I don't think so. If making owning guns illegal were going to stop people from murdering people, why not just make murder illegal? Oh, we did. Oh, okay. So murder's illegal, but people still do it. And they do it more in places with more gun laws. Yeah. I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is probably has to do with more mental health care, teaching kids coping skills, teaching people that the world doesn't need to validate them, that they can have self-esteem, they can cope, they can deal with their emotions, not go out and shoot somebody because they disagree with them. Teach them life skills so they can earn the things they want instead of shooting someone so they can steal it. That's what you do. That's what you do to have less gun violence. What you do to have less gun violence is keep the family together. Have a community. Work on community. Work on holding people accountable who are breaking laws. Not just slapping them on the wrist and throwing them back out there. Enforcing your laws that are already on the books. How about that? You think there's going to be a quick fix where you just snap your fingers and, oh, we'll pass this law. It'll fix everything. That's kindergarten logic. Be an adult. Grow up. The guns are here. You ban guns, they're not going to just disappear. We have guns. And the only people who are going to follow gun laws are law-abiding citizens. I was sitting in that bathroom shower with a legally owned firearm, following the law. And that 911 operator had the audacity to say to me, oh, you shouldn't have that. But the guy breaking into my house isn't following the law. He's breaking the law. He's the one breaking the law, right? It's illegal to break into someone's house. It's not illegal to own a firearm. But I'm the problem. I'm the one that's problematic.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. We think that Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Hey, ooh, ah, ooh.
I would say pour one out for Kirky boy, but I don't waste good beer on little bitches.
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a fucking dog in Utah, and I could not be happier.
I will not ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
Fucking stoked right now. You wanna know why I'm so fucking stoked?
He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights.
His wife deserves to go too. Y'all keep on talking about his wife and kids. They need to go too because they're carrying on that mentality and that lineage. Like, get rid of the whole family. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Why did you guys stop with him? Why did you stop with him? Go get his grandma. Because who raised you? Like, your mom ought to be ashamed for breaking scum like you. Get rid of the whole family. Y'all too scary for revolution. Y'all too scary for progress. Like, y'all want results without putting in the work. You're going to have to take out trash to get a clean house. Like,
Look, I mean, we have to be disciplined in how we advocate for dialogue and free speech. If a young student finds disagreement with a conservative or somebody on the right, they don't just find the ideas objectionable. Some, in fact, a majority by a recent Pew poll, want to use force to try to silence and stifle and even censor those differing ideas.